this is Lick. We're at Lick here. We don't need any devil's cheers. Yeah, so I'm Eddie.
And as I said, I'm Sarah. And before we get into the rest of the community meeting, we're gonna bring up Mr. Temple and Miss Williams for the community address.
Good morning, everyone. First, spring break has brought on a lot of changes to our seniors, so I'm not quite sure what happened to them, but welcome, university. For those not in the know, the senior prank at both schools were to do an exchange program for the morning, which is really quite fun. So we're really happy to have you here, and I hope you enjoy your time here at Lick this morning. Okay, can we just quiet down, please? So before we begin our week, I want to welcome everybody back to school and once again acknowledge two events over our spring break that just again give us pause. So the bombings in Sri Lanka and the shooting at a synagogue in Southern California. We were not in community to be able to talk about either of those events or to process either of those events, but we will have opportunities to do so. It is, again, just an example of religious intolerance, something that we have to constantly work toward eliminating in our society and the world. And my hope for you as students and future leaders is when you are faced with religious intolerance, when you see it, or if you experience it, that you actually say something and do something in as safe a manner as you can. So I can't tell you how happy I am that you are all back here safe and sound. So that's the first thing, because we love you very much and we want you to be whole people and be members of this community in meaningful ways. So I'm just going to pass it over to Ms. Williams, and she's going to have a few words.
So I wanted to speak to you all because it's been a hard time for me returning back to the school. I had a really relaxing break, but the things that happened in the world were just really deeply impacting me. And I don't know about you, but I've become pretty emotionally exhausted and pretty numb at times too, being able to just kind of like put my hat on and come to work and just go, but also recognizing that that's a huge privilege in a world where so many people are experiencing a lot of pain. I'm also getting tired of sitting in a room with the admin and writing letters to the community after every tragedy that happens, and recognizing that it's a beautiful way to respond and make sure people are aware, and at a certain point also wondering like what more can I do as a person to be there for people who are experiencing discriminations in their lives. So I'm putting out there to you all that I personally am willing to show up for any of you who want someone to come with you to any of your religious worships. If you feel like you need someone to be there with you, I'm happy to do that. And I'm also happy if you're someone who just wants to take a walk because the world's too hard, stop by my office. Happy to do that. We can go get some boba together. If you're also someone who just says, I need to relax and take a break because this is too much and I'd like to just have a dance party in the lobby, come find me. My colleagues know I'm up for that. And so I'm going to be writing ways that I'm willing to show up for community members. Those are just 3 examples of them on a whiteboard in the lobby. If you're interested in also showing up for community members in whatever way works for you, whether that be showing up for solidarity with someone or saying like, hey, you need to rest or relax, I like to do this, come with me, then feel free to add your name to that board. And again, that's just my way of saying like, I see you, for those of you who aren't just walking day to day, but are also feeling really deeply impacted by what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And now we're going to go into the rest of our community meeting, which we're actually renaming ASM. Also, for those of you who don't know, this is the first annual exchange program between Lick and UHS. We're going to be here for the next month. Thank you to our supporter back there. And so now we have our first offering, which is the Chinese 3 and 4 have prepared a dance for us.
All right, what's up? All right, everyone be quiet. Juniors, would you mind being a little quieter? Thank you. All right. Hello, we're the Chinese 4 and Chinese 3 classes. Today we will be performing the Xiaoping Goa Chinese dance. My name is Alex Bobroff and I lost the game.
I'm Maya. I'm Naomi.
Okay, so today we are performing the Xiaoping Goa, which is a fitness dance. Now a lot of people, is it Gangnam Style?
No, it's a popular fitness dance all over China for people of all ages. It is performed by large groups, often in public squares or parks.
Does anyone know the record for how many people have danced the Xiaoping Goa dance before?
The Guinness World Record for the most people performing the Xiaoping Guo dance is 20,000 people.
Let me teach you some movements.
Are you shaking water off your hands?
Are your hands the emoji burning?
No.
Needing a flick of the wrist?
No. The first movement is like you're air drying your hands. It is adapted from eagle claw in martial arts and circulates blood around your nerve endings and near your fingertips. Here is another movement I will teach you.
Is this fruit ninja?
No! Last movement is adapted from martial arts. It is a very fast and slicing movement.
After the 10-day spring break, we hope this fitness dance will bring everyone fresh and energetic beginning to the school year. I want to see this function bussin', so let's get it.
program that we'd be pranking Lick, but I don't think you guys got the job done for us, so. Next we have an offering from Fan Club.
Let's go, Tubia.
Hey everyone.
Let's go.
I'm Tubia, senior, he, him pronouns.
Okay, I'm Roma, a junior, she, her. So we're gonna do like an overview of what Fang did this year. Hello.
And before we start, I also just want to take a moment to acknowledge there was another attack over break in Sunnyvale, which is pretty close by, about an hour away. Someone drove his car into a family that he thought was Muslim, actually wasn't, and injured 3 of them, including a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. So wanted to put that just quickly out there since it's close to home. All right.
So first we'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're holding this gathering on the unceded land of the Rama-Tush Ohlone people, and I am an uninvited settler upon the lands of the Rama-Tush Ohlone people, and I'd like to acknowledge the indigenous members within this space and your rightful sovereignty over these lands.
All right, so we're up here as leaders of FAME.
Also, FANG stands for Fostering Activists for the Next Generation, if y'all don't know what this club stands for.
We were up here at the start of the year. I don't know how many of you remember that, but we wanted to check back in about what we've been doing. So first of all, unsurprisingly, as a club, we've been holding club meetings. So we've had a panel of teachers who did canvassing around the election, come in and talk about their experiences, talk about what that process was like. Dr. Fung came in and did a direct action training, talking about how to think about how to make a protest or other direct action effective. We've also had a lot of workshops. First of all, one about activism at high school, at high schools across the country recently. We talked about some of the different direct actions that have taken place, and then also about our theme this year of crimmigration, criminalization of immigration. We talked about the different ways that law enforcement has been attacking folks who are here, especially without documentation, and we specifically did a workshop looking at different stories of people who have been through the immigration process that break down some of the stereotypes that don't fit in to these kind of tropes we have about immigration.
So one of the main projects that we worked on this year for the theme of crimmigration was we made a Know Your Rights scene for to prevent yourself from getting deported, so knowing your rights if ICE comes to your house. And also there was a focus on youth, what to do if you're in schools, because we're youth, so we wanted to do it from our perspective. And so it was just like a magazine that had different resources like phone numbers and websites, and then it had just like basic rights that a lot of people don't know. And so this is like the cover of it, and then each page had a different kind of main theme, and there were drawings on each page.
We held a meeting to debrief stuff about the Oakland teachers strike. We put out the call, first of all, to wear red in solidarity. Red for Ed is the color used by teachers unions during strikes, and we had a meeting talking about what we can do in solidarity and also what our place is as private school students in relation to a strike in Oakland Unified Public School District.
So yeah.
And then one of the other big projects that we worked on this year outside of school was working on the deportation case of a man named Juan Francisco. So I'll just give like a quick overview of his case. He was a Daly City father of 2 children, and they're young children. One is 12 and one is like a little baby. And then he fled El Salvador to escape, like 10 years ago, to escape gang violence as a child, and there was a lot of violence still there once he was gone, even that affected his other family members that stayed. And then he was detained because he had a visa that he didn't like renew, kind of, or he had a
temporary protected status.
Yeah. And then ICE came to his door looking for somebody else, and they didn't have a warrant for him, but he answered their questions, and so then they took him into detention. But then Wendy, his wife, called Rapid Response Hotline, and so then that brought the case to Faith in Action, which is a larger organization that uses is an organization of different faith, like churches and synagogues and mosques and stuff, and they joined together to fight, and they have a youth group called 415 Unidos, and that's what Fang joined with, and we worked to help free Juan Francisco, which Tia will talk.
So some specific actions, and this was in a coalition that members of Fang were part of, folks from Balboa High School, June Jordan High School, a bunch of the different high schools across this part of San Francisco. So we met with the Director of Constituents of Senator Kamala Harris a number of times to try to get her to put pressure on ICE and ask for Juan's release, which they've done in the past. When that proved unsuccessful, we set up a calling campaign to her office and then started working on a letter to the immigration judge, which proved more successful. We were able to get a few hundred signatures on a letter to the judge who heard Juan's case in immigration court and convince him to not only grant bond, but set it much lower than is typical at $8,000, which is pretty good compared to the typical $25,000 or so bond, and then raise that money, as you can see, from the GoFundMe. And we've continued to work with 415 Unidos and Faith in Action, these community organizations in the area. And there's also an article in the next issue of the Paper Tiger about Juan's journey through the immigration system, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, and one thing to add quickly, you mentioned that we're still working with like 415 Unidos, and so currently we're gonna try to, because we learned a lot about how it was like to be in the detention center and the conditions in there, and so now we're trying to work on fighting to change those. All right, so coming up with Fang, we only have 3 meetings left because the school year is almost over. And so our next meeting is going to be a meeting on like different systems of power, how we have power and how we can make change. And then we're going to have our next meeting after that is going to be actually a joint between JSU, which Tuvia also leads, Jewish Student Union, and Fang, and we're going to have 2 outside people come in and talk about like spirituality and religion and how it can be used for like love and how it can be used for activism and how it can also sometimes not be used for those things.
Folks from Glide Church, if you know Glide, yeah.
And then the last one will be an open meeting to feedback of what things should look like next year, and also a celebration because it's the last club. And that one especially we really want people to come to because we really want to see what like the community wants the club to look like. And then also, kind of for a really long time, like how this club started is we've been working on some policy with the administration, so that's something that will hopefully continue to happen. And then we also are going to, with the zine, we have it made and we've passed it out to some people, but we're going to get it translated to different languages and we're going to distribute it out to a bunch of different schools and stuff like that. And really, please come to Fang, even if you're embarrassed or scared or you've never been before. We really want people to come to Fang. It's really fun. It's not like a lot of work, so just come. It's really
We don't bite.
We all like each other. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So now we have, I see some frosh over there. We have the swag wheel. So everybody get pumped. Swag wheel, UHS.
Hello. Hey everybody, welcome back. So just to remind you, I'm Lauren. I'm the Development Associate in our Alumni Development Department. And this is Heather, our Annual Fund Manager. So we're going to do swag wheel today. Again, our swag wheel's out sick. It's seen better days, but it will come back. All right, so just a reminder of the rules. We're going to call up 4 students. We might have to pick a few names for the seniors. My understanding is not all of them are here today. And we're going to ask a question, and then whoever answers it correctly gets an article of swag. But what we really don't want is for people in the audience to shout it out. Just let the people who we've called come up here and do it. All right, so we're going to start with seniors. Patricia C? No? Patricia? You know what? Yes, but we're also going to get a lick singer. You're going to pick a junior. Also give us your name.
Oh, Patricia.
All right.
Max Belder.
Vera Kirsten.
Is Vera in the house? Oh. Okay, we're gonna pick another name. Elliot Lepinar.
Nathan Mack.
Nathan, okay. So our question today, and good luck, Patricia, is which teacher has been at Lick the longest? Go ahead.
Mr. Sanborn.
That is incorrect. No.
Mr. Johnson?
Is incorrect. Anyone who any idea?
Mr. O? Mr. Osipov?
All right, so you can get our typical Lick prize, come by our office, and you'll do it. Let's give a round of applause to all our contestants.
Thank you, and especially thank you to Patricia. Fantastic job. Okay, now we have a little bit of time left, so we have the Lick Spotlight prom announcement.
Prom, but we're a little concerned about your safety given that it's at an aquarium. So we have some tips for you to keep you safe and avoid danger like this. So if you spot a shark, we recommend swimming away very quickly but calmly. Sharks do not like excessive splashing. If the shark attacks you, aim for the eyes or gills. Those are the most sensitive parts. You may think a shark is your most dangerous predator, but an octopus is just as likely to attack you. So here are the steps to escape an octopus. 1. Swim away. Propel yourself forward to create a pulling pressure on the octopus's arms. If you cannot get away, or you feel yourself being pulled back, continue to the next step. 2. Do not act passively, or you may be bitten quickly or quickly enveloped by the octopus's web. Once you are caught in the web, escape will be extremely difficult. However, octopi tire easily, so continue to put pressure on the arms by attempting to swim away. 3. Prevent the octopus's arms from wrapping around your arms. Initially, the octopus will secure itself to a rock or coral formation and reach out to grab you with just 1 or 2 arms. Once it has a firm grip on you, it will move you towards its mouth. Do not allow the first
Can everybody please be quiet? Yes, can we please be quiet?
to pin down your own arm, or escape will be extremely difficult. Turn somersaults in the water. This will detach the octopus from the anchor rock, but if you're still being held, turning circles will make it want to move away. This may also appear as a pretty cool dance move. 5. Swim towards the surface. Octopi dislike air and will remain. My next tip is both a cool dance move and will keep you safe. The ray shuffle works by moving your feet through the sand. This will encourage the rays to move so that you are not accidentally stunned, and you'll look pretty cool.
We now actually have a slight something special going on over here.
Hi everybody, we are Movie Review Club. I'm Elliot, and there's something that's been weighing on me. Iron Man dies in Endgame, and Arya kills the Night King.
We're going to start it off with a little plot synopsis. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's pretty unfortunate. With all the Infinity Stones collected in the present, Banner uses them to restore those... Excuse me, can you please stop? I'm trying to speak. Banner uses them, please, everyone calm down. Uses them to restore them when Thanos disintegrated.
2014, Nebula uses a time machine to transport Thanos and his ship to the present day, and he attacks the Avengers compound.
to our regularly scheduled programming. So, in front of you, you see a drowning person. First, this is one of the easiest ways to spot someone who's drowning. But do not worry, this does not have to be you. Now, I know not everybody can necessarily swim here, so don't worry. Tomorrow and until Friday, we're going to be teaching swimming lessons in H315. So if you don't know how to swim, come out to H315, bring your swimsuit tomorrow, and we'll see you there. As for fashion, we have a few rules. Number one, keep it school appropriate, and 2, ensure proper warmth. We recommend a 3.2mm suit. Also, another fashion tip advice, if you bring a surfboard, it's 10 times sexier. So remember that, bring a surfboard. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to be going with dates to prom, and that's totally cool. And if you do, make sure you get a matching wetsuit. You can get these two for $47.24 on www.alibabaexpress.com. That's www.alibabaexpress.com. Finally, we'll be serving sushi.
Okay guys, some real announcements about prom.